Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jeremiah with Modern Protector, and we're out here on the range today. And it is an absolutely beautiful day to be out here. Although I gotta say, it's time to mow again. Keep getting ticks all over me. I've sprayed with bug spray, so hopefully they'll stay off of me now. But we're out here at the range, and I'm out here doing a little bit of red dot sighting in. And many of you guys probably already know how to sight in your red dots. Man, I got bugs flying everywhere, guys. But what I wanted to do is bring you my perspective on sighting in your red dot and what I have found to actually be the most effective and quickest way to get your red dot on target so that you're at least within an inch or two once you start getting ready to zero your dots. And then I'll talk through the process on zeroing. The dots that we have today are the Holosun 407K X2, and then we've also got the EPS Carry. And as many of you guys recently heard, I got rid of my GLOCK 19 and traded it for a Shadow Systems CR920X. Beautiful, beautiful gun. Actually, let me show you this right here real quick. So this is that Shadow Systems CR920X. It does have the EPS carry. Is that the carry? Yeah, EPS carry. This gun is cleared. It is safe. But yeah, that EPS carry and the Streamlight TLR7 sub, absolutely gorgeous gun. So like I mentioned, I shot this one the other day. The red dot wasn't completely on, but I didn't want to take the time to align it. Instead, I just kept on shooting. So I enjoy it. Looking forward to get that red dot sighted in. The other one that I have here is my Sig X MACRO. Again, this gun is also cleared. So this dot actually was one that I sent off to Holosun. Not sure how they were going to handle the warranty. That ended up becoming a brand new 407K 6 MOA dot. So I'm excited about getting that one sighted in as well. And then the other one that I shot the other day is this GLOCK 43X MOS. You guys saw all these guns on the previous video. If you haven't seen them, then check out the previous videos. I am probably about to order a Streamlight TLR7 sub for this. Found a pretty good deal. Get it for about $135 shipped. Seems to be a fairly good price. But I did pay $100 for that red dot with the DPP plate. So I feel like I should get a Streamlight for like 40 bucks now, right? Anyhow, so this dot, we're going to go ahead and get it dialed in as well. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to actually flip the camera, get it closer to where we're going to be sighting these in at. And then the target we're going to be using today is a Dirty Bird by Birchwood Casey. I only brought one target out here, even though I'm sighting in 3 guns. I know they're close, so I'm going to be using these smaller dots here at 10 yards. But why don't we get the target out there, put it up, and we'll get set up and get the camera turned around. All right, what's up, guys? So here we are. We're on the firing line. First one up to go is going to be this Sig 365X Macro with this brand new Holosun 407K red dot in the 6 MOA. Really like that dot. I actually own 3 of those now. So when Holosun sends out their sights, they send you this little tool right here. And you can see the front end of that is like a little tiny, I don't know if you can see that very well in the camera, but it's like a little tiny flathead. Goodness, I'm going to see if I can get out of the way and make that better. Yep, so you can see that. It's like a little tiny flathead. And I actually have tried to adjust these windage and elevation knobs with a tiny flathead, and you actually need this tool. So it's very, very thin. I actually took a Dremel and ground down one of my flathead screwdrivers because I couldn't find my tool at the time. So if you have the tool, keep it handy. You definitely want that. So what I have found to be the most effective way in doing this is, especially if you're running a true co-witness, you can take your little adjustment tool and just present your handgun out. And I want to make sure you guys can see where I'm at here. if you present the gun out and you align the sights the way they should be, and then you put the red dot on top of your front sight, or you get it to where the red dot is aligned with your iron sights, if you can get that co-witness, then you can be fairly much, fairly close on paper. You're going to be within an inch or two. It's going to be really close. And then you can take the tool and dial it down just a little bit more as you get, ready to shoot it on paper like we're going to do today. So we're going to start out with this Holosun 407K. It's already been aligned to the front sight. All we're going to do is get it on paper now. So I've got my magazine right here. With it being lined up right there, and I'm going to grab my ears real quick. With it being lined up right there, ready to go, we should be within an inch or two of that little circle that I'm going to be going for. So I'm going to go for the top left. We'll see what kind of damage we can do here. We're at about 10 yards. Okay, so that's 5 shots. Let's go down there and take a look at where we're at just by. All right, so you can see right here, 5 shots. You got the first one went really low, second one was above that, and then the third, fourth, and fifth were all just a little bit to the right. Now, I was seeing quite a bit of dot shake on that, so what I'm going to do is actually shoot 5 more into that exact same spot. What I'm looking for is that they all stack on the red dot. So here we go. Let's give it a try once more. All right, so here we go. We're going to try this one more, 5 more shots. We're going to try to be nice and steady. Let me turn the dot down. Whenever you're zeroing your dot, you want it to be as dim as humanly possible so I can barely see it. And then I'm going to kick it up just one more. All right, here we go. 5 shots. All right, so here we go. As you can see, it looks like 5 more, all within this area right here. And overall, I'm very happy with that. That's 10 yards and basically all within about a 3 to a 3.5 inch spread. I would feel very confidently carrying this gun with that type of dialed in dot. I actually have been carrying it, and all I did, guys, whenever I first sighted it in, I just aligned it with the iron sights. We're going to go ahead and shoot the rest of these 17 rounds. So we should have about 7 more rounds. And I'm going to see if I can stack them all on that same top left dot. Here we go. I had one flyer for sure, but let's go check it out. Overall, I'm very happy with the performance of just aligning the dot with your iron sights as a standard before you come to the range, and that will really help you to get your red dot on target. All right, let's go check out that target. All right, guys, so there you go. There's 17 rounds out of the Sig 365X Macro, and I did have this one flyer right down here. I guess I got a little too happy with the trigger on that, but I am really happy with the way that this gun performed for just aligning the dot with the standard sights to get a good baseline. So I wouldn't ask for anything more than that out of a concealed carry handgun. That's 10 yards and 17 rounds. I'm very happy with that. All right, let's move on to the next one, the GLOCK 43X MOS. So here we go. We've got the GLOCK 43X MOS. I just picked up this 407K red dot. Got a steal of a deal on that with the DPP plate for $100, guys. I love those kind of deals. If you ever run across those deals, let me know. I'd be more than happy to buy something from you and let you ship it to me for that price. But what I'm looking at here is same type of deal, minus the fact that this one sits a little bit higher because it's got that DPP plate. And You know, if any of you guys understand my philosophy, I really believe in a direct mount red dot. I think it gives it a lot more stability. However, this is a really good titanium plate. I don't see any kind of issues happening with it. I did the exact same thing on this. I aligned the dot with where the actual front sight would land. And so we're going to shoot this today. I do have the Shield Arms 15 round magazine for this and the Shield Arms mag release. So the gun is currently clear, but let's go ahead and load it up and make it hot. Here we go. We're going to go for the top right and see where this dot lands. Again, we're at 10 yards. Okay, so there was 5 shots out of the Glock 43X. Let's go down there and check it out. I do think it needs a little bit of adjustment, but let's kind of talk through what we see down there, okay? Here we go. All right, guys, so I'm super happy with that. I got 4 rounds right there, bottom right of the circle, and then 1 round. I guess I just get trigger happy. I dropped 1 over here, and I dropped 1 over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it up, and I'm going to kick it left, just about maybe a ½ inch each direction. And what you want to do whenever you're sighting in your red dot, well, let's get it kicked in, and I'll explain it as I do. All right, guys, so we still have a hot gun here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the adjustment tool, and it looks like I want to go about a ½ inch up and a ½ inch left. Now, this is, according to the manufacturer specifications, it's a 1 MOA of adjustment. So at 100 yards, it moves 1 inch. At 50 yards, it moves a ½ inch. At 25 yards, it moves a ¼ inch. And that's per rotation. So once it clicks, that's going to be, for us, we're probably going to just do 1 click each direction and hope that that didn't overcorrect what we needed to do, because we're only looking at about a ½ inch each direction. So I'm going to go to the left by 1 click. So I take R and go the opposite direction, and then I'm going to go up. So I click it 1 click. And that's all I need to do is just 1 click. Let's stick that back in the pocket and go ahead and take a few more shots and see if that didn't do something for us here. That's really nice. Let's go check it out. Guys, check this out. Those first 5 shots were pretty much all on the right bottom side of that. The next one's all right there in the center. This gun shoots really, really nice. Really nice. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. But let's finish out the rest of these rounds just for fun. Guys, here we are with the final one today. This is the Shadow System CR920X. This is the one that will most likely be my new carry gun, although right now I am rocking the Sig X MACRO. But this one has the Holosun EPS Carry. Absolutely beautiful gun. I'm looking forward to, I'm actually going to have a video coming out where I compare this one to the Glock 43X, but I want them to be set up exactly identical. So I'm going to run the 407K on this and grab a TLR 7 sub for that, so that way I can run them completely side by side. I've got a holster coming right now from T-Rex Arms for the 43X MOS with the TLR 7 light, so I'm assuming this should fit it. But without further ado, all we have lined up on this one, same exact deal. We put the dot right where the sights go. However, this one does have a little bit better view because you get a full co-witness on that. So I really like that. But let's go ahead and load it up, and let's go for the bottom right. I think I shot a few too many there, but I was getting A little bit of feedback from it from the first couple of shots were all over the place. Once I got it dialed in, this is an extremely light gun, but very, very manageable, very easy to shoot. We're going to keep it hot, but let's go down there and take a look at our first few shots and see what the red dot sighting in looks like. All right, so as we zoom in here, you can see the first one was way down there. That was just an ugly, ugly shot. That was my second one right there. And then the rest of them started dialing in. I ended up shooting 6 total. However, I do feel like the dot is pretty dialed in, and that was just me making mistakes. So let's shoot the other ones and see how it goes. Okay, 5 more shots. I'm seeing that it looks to be a little bit high, and I can already tell that from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tool and I'm going to lower it down just a tiny bit. So we're going to go 1 notch down on the top. Now let's see what that does. Take a couple more shots. That is an absolutely fun gun to shoot. I can't wait to do that video where I compare this gun to the 43X, because although I felt like I shot on paper, this one looks better. The 43X kind of felt better, so I'm looking forward into doing a deep dive on that video. But let's go take a look at the target. It actually came out pretty good. So there we have it, 10 yards, 15 rounds. Again, that was my first one. That was a really bad shot. And then the rest of them all right there for 14 more shots. So you got the Sig 365X Macro. We didn't have to adjust that one at all. If anything, I might kick it up a little bit. You've got the 43X MOS. I did get a little happy after releasing the rest of those rounds and kind of dropped a few. And then you got your Shadow Systems CR920X. So which one would you choose out of these 3? And is this also how you zero your dots? Let me know in the comments. Well, there you have it. You got the 3 pistols all sighted in. And what did I use to sight them in? I just aligned the dot on the red dot with the iron sights. As long as you can get a good visual co-witness or even a good idea of where it might be, that's a really good way to start when it comes to sighting in your pistol red dots. But as you can tell, all 3 of these are very acceptable for a concealed carry handgun. That's 10 yards. We got 15 rounds, 15 rounds, and 17 rounds. And I'm very happy with all of those. They're pretty tight. But let me know in the comments, how do you sight your red dot in? And is it possible to do this with an AR-15? And how do you bore sight an AR-15 if you don't have a bore sight? Well, maybe we'll do a video on that sometime soon as well. However, stick around and stay tuned. I do have some videos coming up where I'm going to be discussing the differences between that Sig, or between the GLOCK 43X MOS and that Shadow Systems CR920X. Might do a head-to-head comparison on that. I'm really looking forward to it. And we hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would love for you to subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel, and share this kind of content with somebody that needs to hear it. I'm not trying to hit 1,000 subscribers or 1,000,000 subscribers for fame and fortune. I just want to be able to help people with good, solid information that, if you hear of anybody that says, man, how do I get my red dot sighted in? Maybe you're new. Just share this video with them, and that's the best way that you can actually promote good, solid, Second Amendment, positive information. And we should all be helping each other out. So as modern protectors, you just want to remember that part of being a protector, a modern protector, is the modern part. And red dots certainly are a big modern part of firearm use. And I believe everybody should be able to learn how to use them. So Thanks for sticking around to the end, listening to my rant. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So hang tight. Got lots of good stuff coming. Take care. God bless. And don't forget, always carry a gun because you never know when you're going to need it.